Hi, Marlon.
Hi, Krista. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. You can hear me okay?
I can.
Okay, good.
I can hear you. Okay, I'm gonna black out. I know my screen. Okay.
Okay.
See you in a bit.
All right. See ya.
Your mom is starting the meeting, sweetheart. Ready.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
Okay, how are you all?
Doing well.
Hi, Sharon.
Hello.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, Raymond. Good evening.
Hey, Raymond.
Hi, Eva. Hi, Ma.
Hi.
Right?
Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, now I show you.
Eva, before everybody else, anybody else, I should say, joins outside of the circle, was the rendering that was sent over on item 4 in response to someone's request?
So the additional rendering from the north elevation was provided by the applicant at the request of alternate committee member Chow.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
And as it turned out, I don't understand why the applicant didn't give it to us to begin with. When I was asking him for the rendering, I thought it would be difficult to generate a rendering on such short notice. But apparently he had already prepared them. And because I've been working with him on the roof elevation and some integration elements, that he didn't think it was important to give it to us.
Yeah, it was sort of
so I'm-
inadvertently omitted, maybe. Yeah.
Correct. So I'm glad that he, committee member Chow brought it up and he was able to request that information.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Where is everybody?
So there are a few people in the waiting room, but I don't see Vice Chair Wong. I know Chair Batnich has an excused absence tonight. But I was gonna wait for him before letting everyone else in.
Okay.
Good
You
evening,
want to?
everyone.
Oh, here it is.
Good evening, Vice Chair.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Great.
Just wanted to
Hi.
confirm that you were ready before letting everyone else in. There's a
Thank
few
you,
people in the
thank you.
waiting room.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So I'm gonna
I'm
go ahead
ready.
and all right, I'm gonna go ahead and let everyone in.
Perfect. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome, everyone, to the April 21st, 2021 DRC meeting. The City of San Marino appreciates all your attendance. Citizens' Interest provides the DRC with valuable information regarding issues of the community. Today's agenda is posted 72 hours prior to the meeting in City Hall, Crowell Library, the Recreation Department, and is also available in the city's website. Since we are still in a virtual meeting, so we would not have the flag salute today. So let's then ask staff to first take a roll call.
Sure. Alternate committee member Tony Chow,
Present.
alternate committee member Rick Chow,
Present.
committee member McKay,
Present.
committee member Lakon,
Present.
committee member Chang,
Present.
Vice Chair Wong,
Present.
and Chair Batnich has an excused absence tonight.
Thank you. The following is the procedures for tonight's meeting. Each committee member has received plans and has reviewed every item on the agenda and visited the sites. The general order for hearing each case will be as follows. The committee will ask staff any questions they may have. The chair will then ask the applicant or the applicant's representative to comment on the proposal. The hearing will then be open to public, and the chair will ask for comments for, against, or about the project. In all cases, please come forward and give your name and address. At the conclusion of the public comments, the applicant will have a chance to respond, and no further comments from the public will be accepted. The chair will then ask for comments from each of the committee members. If there is no motion for approval or denial, the DRC has the option of continuing the application to a future date. In the event of a denial, it is hoped that the applicant will have heard comments during the public comment period and during deliberations that will be useful in resubmitting an application. It is important for the property owner to understand that once a project is approved by the DRC, the drawings become legal documents. If any changes are made to the project subsequent to approval without obtaining proper approval of those changes, then the property owner is in fact breaking the law. There is risk of having to change the project back to the originally approved design, or paying a fine to the City of San Marino equal to the greater of 5% of the project valuation, or $2,500, and then resubmitting the changes made to the project to the DRC. It is also important to understand that there is a 15-day appeal period after action has been taken for the applicant or any interested party to request the Planning Commission to review and act on the case. After all of the agenda items have been heard, 2 DRC members will conduct the open forum. At this time, residents or their representatives may ask committee members about current or future projects relating to their property. Committee members can discuss the design with you, but cannot comment on how they might vote on the project. All right, then, let us start tonight's agenda. Agenda number 1 is design review case number DRC 20-10 at 835 Sussex Road. May I have the staff report, please?
Sure. Design review case number DRC 20-10 is a request to construct a one-story addition to an existing single-story residence. The proposed addition will total 590 square feet and feature an extension of the family room and new master bedroom and bathroom. This request was continued from the February 17th, 2021 meeting, where the committee cited concerns over details related to the proposed patio cover, the roofing material to be installed on the addition, and the lack of a tree protection plan. The applicant has since modified the project to remove the patio cover, use a pre-approved material on the roof, and provided a tree protection plan. Staff can support the request, and that concludes the presentation.
Thank you. Next, let's see if any committee member has any question to staff, please. Anyone from the committee? Any questions? If not, then let me ask the applicant or the applicant's representative to present the project to the general public and the committee. Thank you.
Good evening. My name's Michael Rueda, 990 South Arroyo Parkway, Pasadena, California. And I'm the agent for the owner. And I want to just go over real quick some of the changes. I know it's not normal protocol, but what I did is provide a list for the committee of the items that were discussed in the last meeting. And I've also shown you where they are, where the changes have taken place on the plans. I don't know if you want me to go through each one of them or if the committee has any questions.
You're welcome to go through them really quickly.
Okay, I'll start with number 1. A request was made to remove the light from the east side block wall, and it's shown on excuse me, sheet A002, number 8. It's a note, and it's also shown that it will be removed. The committee felt that it was not conducive to the environment, the surrounding neighborhood, so it will be removed by the owner.
Great.
The second one is the roofing not matching. So what we've done is the owner has decided to forego some of the project, remove the pergola, and he's going to re-roof the whole house with an approved roofing material from the approved San Marino list. So it will have an approved roof that has been approved by the San Marino. And that's shown on sheet A700.
Thank you.
The next item was the committee wanted some landscape on the east side of the property where the construction was going to take place. They felt that if they stood in front of the house, they could see the commercial properties to the rear. So what the owner has decided to put a row. If you look on page A002, number 9, it will show that bushes will be put across the rear of the property, so you won't be able to see anything. There are 15-gallon trees across the rear of the property. Again, the next item was a pergola. There was some concerns about the pergola. The owner has decided to remove that from the plans and will not be installed. Next item was the windows. The committee felt that the windows in the front did not match the new windows that would be constructed on the east side of the property. So the owner has decided to replace the windows in front to match the new windows on the side of the house. And that's page A200, note number 19. Next, the committee had some concerns about the existing windowsills and the repainting. They're going to be repainted, and there's a note on page A200, number 18. The next item was a washer and dryer. It was not shown on the plans. It's on page A102 in the hallway. It shows a W/D in the hallway. There was a question about the brick veneer for the chimney and the color. It's shown on sheet A700. It's a red color, and it's Bellcrest 500 on page 6. See note number 16 on page A200. The next item was a tree protection plan is attached to the plans for your review regarding the oak tree. And the next item was a rear wall garage. And that is on page A200, note number 17, will match the existing stucco, will be replaced and match the existing stucco. So those were all the items that were brought up at the last committee meeting, and I believe we have addressed them in the new plans, and they've been updated.
Thank you, Mr. Rueda. Now let's see if there is any committee member has any question for the applicant's representative.
I have a question.
Yes, committee member Rick Chow, please.
Thank you. Mr. Rueda, you were talking about the window. If you look at A200, number 18, let me know when you have that ready.
Yes, I have it in front of me.
Okay, I think the question is pretty simple. I just want to confirm, because that window, the look and style is different than the plan from last time, which is I'm referring to February 17th. So if you look at them together, page A200, the new plan has a different style of window, which is the existing window. I just want to make sure that you're not changing the window.
If you look, no, I believe that if you look at note number 19, and note number 19 reflects both windows, the window to the left of the front door and the windows to the right of the front door. I think that's what you're talking about. And they're both number 19, so they're both going to be replaced. I believe the architect just did not update that window, but note number 19 reflects both windows.
Right, I understand they're going to be replaced, but
And they're both
the plan presented before is a completely different style.
The plan presented before showed the existing windows, and at that time we were not proposing to replace them, but based on the committee's opinions, we've now decided to replace the front windows to be windows from the approved list, as well as match the windows which are being put on the new addition as well, which were those single hung type, which was a direct comment from the committee, I believe 2 meetings ago, that they would like to see the single hung for this colonial style of a building. So if you're looking at the older plans, you're going to see the existing windows as they are on the house right now, which don't match anything. They're windows that have been put by other owners over the years.
Okay, well, so the bottom line is whatever we're seeing today, of course, is what you're presenting.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Okay, any other questions from any committee member? Committee member Chang, you have a question?
Yeah, just one quick question. On that light that was on the property line wall, I looked at it. I think the light is gone now, but I think they cut it off. I just want to make a note that they will eventually cap it correctly and patch it back. So that's only one condition. That light at the end of the property line wall on the east side, the light has been removed, but the wire is still there, the conduit is still there, exposed to the public. So if somebody stick the finger in there, I don't know whether it's still hot or has it been capped, but it should be properly capped and patched. That I just want to make that one comment so that the owner understand that should be capped correctly. Is that one condition that we were talking about?
Yes, we could add that note to the plans that it will be capped and refinished, so you won't see that there was a light there prior to this.
That's fine. I just want to make sure that it's noted, so we
Yes.
don't leave that hole in there open. I know the light is gone, but we need to cap it correctly. That's the only thing I have.
I'd like to clarify that, Mr. Ureta, do you mean to say you have put a base to cap it, or you patch it with stucco or whatever is a warm material so that there's no hole or no base there?
Yes, we'll refinish it so that it won't show. If we just put a cap, it's just going to be a metal
Okay.
covering, and I'd rather put some type of finish to make it look like the rest of the wall.
So in other words, you refinish the area so that it would match the wall surface.
Yes.
And the conduit and whatnot will be completely removed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they can patch it with concrete and you won't even see it. So they can do that.
Yes.
Great. Yes, Committee Member Lakon.
Thank you. Could you confirm that there are no exterior light sconces on the east elevation?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that question fully.
Okay, on the east elevation.
We're talking about the front elevation of the house.
I'm sorry, the rear, the east side that faces the neighbor to the right
Okay.
of the house.
Okay.
So the new addition side.
Yeah.
Currently on the plan, there is no exterior lighting.
Oh,
I just wanted to confirm that that is accurate and that they aren't anticipating
No,
adding any sconces.
that's correct. No, there won't be any
Okay.
sconces. Yeah.
Okay. And also, one of my concerns before was the possibility that that there would be a concrete slab installed after the construction on that side, the same side, the new side. Because that gate and that wall, actually in the plans it states that there's a wood fence and a wood gate. And in one of the pictures, the wood is still there, but it is currently the iron gate and the cinder block wall that had that light on it that has been removed. So after the addition and that whole area is filled in, it will look very, I would say, incompatible in the neighborhood if there is a concrete slab placed between, like a walkway, to get through the side of the property. Do you know what I'm saying? Which I would like to know if the owner is going to consider not putting a concrete slab and putting something down that leaves open space for landscaping between the two properties.
Yes, we'll keep open space there for landscaping. That's correct. That was the intention.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions from any member? Seeing none, I'll then move to the public comment session. And is there any comment from the public on this DRC case, please? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment session and move to committee member discussion session. First, may I ask committee member McKay?
Thank you. I would like to express appreciation for the applicants and Mr. Ueda's attention to the concerns of the committee. We did give you many items to consider, and I think that you have been receptive and you've addressed issues one by one and tried to make the communication about the way that you have addressed them very clear, which I appreciate. And I could support the project tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Rick Chow.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I also want to echo what committee member McKay just mentioned. I think the applicant this time, after two reviews, had made all the changes. Everything looks great. I think this will be a successful project, and I think I can definitely support. It's pretty straightforward at this point. I can support. Maybe we need to have two conditions possibly. One is cited by Mr. Committee Member Cheng, removing the light, and one possibly just to note that the landscaping will be for the path on the side. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Lee-Kon.
Thank you very much. I also would like to express my appreciation to the applicant. I found the list of your corrections was very helpful, and I appreciate all of the adjustments you made to the plan according to our suggestions. So I could support the project tonight. If it's necessary that we have the condition that the east side of the property will remain open space, and the other condition that Committee Member Cheng stated. If we need to make those, I could do so, but I could support it as proposed. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Cheng.
Yeah, I echo everything was said, and I honestly, looking at tonight's application compared to the first one that came in, you can definitely see all these improvements, and I think it's a good example of how the applicant can work with the committee and the entire community and the owner benefit from it. So I just want to thank them for that. So with that said, I also agree with the two additional conditions. So with that said, I can support it.
Thank you. Committee member Tony Chow.
Yeah, I echo what everyone is saying, and I also just want to add. I think the touches of just keeping everything consistent through, you know, from the ceiling to the facade. Though it was a conscious effort to make the amendment, I think it's going to make a significant difference. So I appreciate the applicant, and I definitely support this as well.
Thank you. Apparently, we do have a very strong consensus among the committee members that we find the owner's representative and the designer presence today and the preparatory work done before the meeting have been very helpful. And I want to, in particular, commend Mr. Ueda in being a very effective and proactive communicator in helping the committee and the community and the public involved to truly understand the owners and the design intent, as well as the commitment to make this project a quality one. And if the community can take some reference of how this way of communication is done, I think that will make everybody's life and time use a lot more efficient and pleasant. And I also appreciate the collaborative approach, not at all confrontational, but really work together as a team. And I myself can also support the project tonight with the conditions discussed. So may I ask if there's any motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion. I like the motion to approve DRC 20-10 with 2 additional conditions. One is to cap the sidewall along the easterly property line correctly and patch it so that to match the existing material. 2 is allow the easterly side yard to allow for landscaping and open space.
Anybody second? Member Lakon second. Thank you. So let's have a vote. Ms. Cervantes, please.
Okay, alternate committee member Tony Chow,
Yes.
committee member McKay,
Yes.
committee member Lakon,
Yes,
committee member Chang,
Yes,
and Vice Chair Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank
The
you,
next
Remy.
case is design review case number DRC 21-11 at 2010 Huntington Drive. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Vice Chair. The applicant is proposing to install new signage for a new business named Mathnasium located on Huntington Drive. This is the second hearing for this proposal. At the prior hearing, the committee continued the project, citing concerns with the overall size of the signage and the appearance of the signage between daytime and nighttime. In an effort to reduce the signage size and area, the business operator has consulted with the franchise and has accepted the committee's recommendation to remove the tagline. So effectively reducing the channel letter sign facing Huntington Drive from 45 square feet to 17 square feet. Additionally, the applicant is proposing the illuminated sign to be backlit, and that was one of the recommendations from the committee as well. As for the second sign, which is simply a wall sign without any lighting facing the back parking lot, that signage will be the same as in terms of the business name, period, without the tagline. That sign will be has been reduced from 45 square feet to 12 square feet, and is also at a location that is located a little lower on the back wall, which is below a row of sliding window. With these changes, staff is able to make the compatibility finding for the proposed signage, and is recommending that the committee consider approving the project with a condition to limit the lighted sign facing Huntington Drive to be turned off at 10 p.m. And this recommendation is consistent with the committee's recent approval and condition on other signage project. Thank you.
Thank you. Any question from the committee to staff, please? Seeing none, I'd like to invite the applicant or the applicant's representative to present the case.
Hey, hi guys. This is Johnny from Sign Crafters. Yeah, so we agreed to all the conditions from last time. We made all the adjustments, and we also agreed to turn the light off, the sign off at 10 p.m. So I think I think we meet all the requirements or the adjustments. But if there's anything else that you need us to adjust, let me know. We're willing to work with you guys on that.
Thank you, Mr. Estrada. Any question from the committee to the applicant's representative? Seeing none, I'll then move to the public comment session. Is there anybody from the public want to make any comment to the case? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment session, and then I'll move on to the committee discussion. Committee member Tony Chow, please.
Yeah, I think without the tagline, it looks a lot cleaner and it'll help the business be more noticeable, and appreciate the big size reduction. I think this will be beneficial for the business and for all the residents nearby. So thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Lakon.
Hi, thank you. I agree. I prefer this line. I think it's much cleaner. It looks more compatible with the city and the architecture, and I could support the project as it's proposed tonight, and also with the condition that the light is turned off at 10 o'clock. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Committee member Chang.
Yeah, this is a good example of less is more. We talked about it last time, and it definitely we can see the improvement by putting less up, and it actually reads a lot better. So yes, I can support it per the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Rick Chow.
Yes, I don't have anything else to add except saying that I can also support the project as presented tonight.
Thank you. Committee member McKay.
Thank you. I think that the business is maintaining its branding and its company ID without that huge oversized signage. And so I concur with my fellow committee members. I can support the project today. I just want to make a note that I had raised the issue of the hours of operation. There was a sign at the front of the business and that it was lit. When I went by the business for this week's application, I noticed that that sign had been removed, and I trust that that sign will remain off of the front of the property. And with that, I could support the project tonight.
Thank you. It is another example of collaboration between the applicant and his representative and the committee. And I vividly recall the business owner last time during his presence, he heard the committee's suggestion and totally understand the less is more thinking, and the tagline may not be necessary, and went back to work with the franchisor. And as a result, we had tonight's revised application in front of us, and I myself can also support the project. So let's see if there is anybody want to bring forward the motion, please. Okay, committee member Lakon.
Okay, I move to approve DRC case number 21-11 to approve the sign as proposed, with the front and the back sign as proposed, with the condition that the illuminated wall sign fronting on Huntington Drive shall be turned off no later than 10 p.m.
Thank you. Anybody second?
I'll second the motion.
Thank you. Let's have a roll call.
Alternate committee member Tony Chow,
Yes.
committee member McKay,
Yes.
committee member Lakon,
Yes.
committee member Chang,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Wong.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome. Now we are moving on to the third item of the night, which is design review case number DRC 20-69 at 2405 Huntington Drive. Staff report, please.
I'll be recusing myself.
As will I, as I've informed staff. Thank you.
Certainly. Thank you.
Okay. Design review case number DRC 20-69 is a proposal to install a business sign to an existing commercial building located at 2405 Huntington Drive. The request was continued from the February 3rd, 2021 meeting over concerns that the sign was still too large and did not allow for any future signage. The applicant has since reduced the sign from 39.25 square feet to 36 square feet. Staff can make the required findings and recommends approval with the added condition to have the sign shut off at 10 p.m. That concludes the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Cervantes. Anybody from the committee has any question for staff?
Yes, I do have one quick question.
Please.
In the event if a second or third tenant comes in for an additional sign, does that application need to come back to this committee?
It does, yes.
Okay, all right. I just want to make sure because I think we are considering the building and the signage as what's in front of us. So if there's any future sign that comes in for whatever reason, for whatever tenant or whatever it may be, I think we need to come back to this committee for overall consideration, I guess.
Right. All signage is subject to design review committee review, including any change of signage for the existing business. So any future sign would go through this committee.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Any other question from the committee to staff?
Yeah, just to clarify, so the change from last time to this time is just a size reduction, correct?
That's correct.
Thank you.
I
Any
have
other
a
question?
follow-up question.
Please.
So future signs. So when Mr. Cervantes said that with future signs, let's say if there is a second business, let's just say a clothing company. So I understand that the clothing company has to get approved, but does that mean that the city can go back to San Marino Security System say that, okay, you need to reduce your size and come up with a new design?
No, at that point, no, because they would have had a final building permit if it had been installed. So
Okay.
at a later date, the city would no longer be able to reduce the
So
size of that.
If
sign.
we were to approve San Marino's security system sign today, that's basically a done deal. Even that there's second or third signages to go up on the facade. We can't really go back to San Marino security, say, change your size to smaller.
No,
Okay.
no.
Thank you.
Vice Chair, may I have a follow-up?
Yes, committee member Chan.
Yes, if I may have a follow-up question. Is there a difference between a building sign and a tenant sign? Have we ever considered that? Meaning if a building come in and they apply for a building ID sign, let's say they own the entire building, they want to use the entire building for a specific reason. Like I just take example like Chase Bank, Wells Fargo Bank. It's that one building sign occupy the entire building per se. So that's one consideration. On this particular application, it's an existing building. At one time, it came in the beginning to the Planning Commission, potentially have 3 occupants. So the sign space was designated with that. I looked at that application from last time as this was a quote unquote a building sign, meaning that San Marino security system occupied the entire building. They want to have identity for the entire building. Therefore, as long as they still meet the overall signage allowance, then and it looks proportionally correct, I can support that. Today, we ask them to reduce it, and they reduce it further. What I don't want to see happen is that now they reduce it down to somewhere between a building sign and a tenant sign, and then a month later, 2 additional tenant comes back in with a similar signage in fonts and in construction and lighting and all of that. But then it will look awkward if you have San Marino sign at a certain size, the other 2 tenant size and is smaller. Or if you make them all 3 the same equal size, it may not work. They could be exceeding the total allowance. I just want to ask staff whether if there is such a thing as considered as a building sign or a tenant sign.
The code, for the purposes of calculating signage area, the code does not distinguish between the two. And I will say that currently, this sign takes up 1.1% of the facade. The code allows for 4%. So if two other tenants were to go in, they would be under the code, they would be allowed to have a sign that's the same size because it would still be under 4%.
I see. Okay, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, I'd like to ask the applicant or the applicant's representative to present the case.
Hi, good evening. My name is Kylie Fisher. So we are presenting this sign again for the committee's review with a slight adjustment. The square footage has been reduced to 36 square feet. To be completely transparent, it was a little difficult to revise our sign from the last meeting in March because we felt we didn't get much relevant feedback from the committee members who were still opposing the sign. But we do want to encourage the committee to ask any relevant and necessary questions during the Q&A portion. We do agree to turn off the illumination at 10 p.m. So the sign now measures 36 square feet or 1.1% of the building's facade, as Marlon mentioned. This is drastically below the city's maximum allowance of 4%. As many committee members have said, this is a very large building with a lot of frontage. So 1.1% is a very small piece of the entirety of the building. We've listened to the committee's concerns and have tried to accommodate the committee's requests twice now in downsizing the sign. While the original plans back in 2014 depicted 3 box signs on the building, however, per the city's request, specifically Aldo Cervantes, we were asked to create something more modern. The committee members also showed their distaste for a box sign from the first DRC meeting, which is why we came up with just one sign, a non-box sign, more of those race letters. There is only one sign being proposed, and any future signage shouldn't be a current concern to the committee. First of all, any additional signage would have to be approved by us as we are owner occupied, and we do occupy over 67% of the building. Even if we did approve a tenant sign, it would then have to come to DRC or Planning Commission, and we don't plan on going through this again anytime soon. We have had tenants in the building for over 2 years now, and no additional signage has been approved or requested. This alone should put the committee at ease, knowing that we won't be back here in the foreseeable future requesting another sign. Like Marlon did mention, with the square footage that we have now, it does allow for equal square footage on 3 signs, but I don't think that that's necessarily our vision in the future either, as we are the owner occupied and we are the primary business here at this building. Any other signage, I think personally, we would want smaller or to look more proportionate on the building. And frankly, not at all, because we occupy most of it and it is our building. And eventually we are looking to occupy all of the building, all 100% of the frontage. But to reiterate again, there is only one sign being proposed. And please remember that any changes to our building would have to go through us first. While we feel one sign on the building is simple, elegant, and it doesn't clutter or draw focus away from the architecture of the building, the sign is drastically below the city requirements, and this will be our final revision to the sign. So we want to really encourage the committee to ask any relevant questions now, and would love for this to be voted on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Any committee member has any question for the applicant, please? Seeing none, I'll then move to the public comment session. I now welcome anybody from the public to share their comment. Is anybody from the public who would like to say anything? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment session and then begin the committee member discussion session. Committee member Rick Chow, please.
Thank you, Chair. I think that the first reaction I had when I saw the new sign the size is it's really indistinguishable that, I couldn't tell the difference. So I basically did an overlay, put the new sign on top of the old sign, scaled everything exactly the same. There's really barely any difference. So I think the only difference is in number. Now the square footage is slightly smaller. So, but I think visually, if you look at it, there's really no difference. So in the beginning, I really was thinking, well, what is the point presenting this again if the applicant really did not make any changes. Reflecting back to what the applicant just said, it was kind of a little bit difficult to make changes, and I think they just made a very, very small change there. But so going back and forth a little bit, I think we kept hearing about this 1% versus 4%. Yes, the 4% by the guidelines is maybe the maximum, but that doesn't mean that we always allow signs anywhere close to 4%. In this case, I don't think 2% will work. Because if you look at the building, the only place you can, reasonably put signs on are really these 3 places in the front. The rest is just building. It doesn't really, you can count the square footage, but just by looking at it, I don't think we can really argue that 4% is where we can take it to. So that's another thinking I had. But I think ultimately, I am leaning toward supporting this project tonight because as Mr. Marlin, Mr. Cervantes said that in the future, even if we had 2 additional signs, the percentage overall, again, back to this 4% thing. So I think that's probably okay. In the likelihood, maybe not very likely, but even that it happens, I think it's probably okay. So I'm kind of leaning towards supporting it as of now. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Tony Chow.
I agree with Commissioner Chow as well. I don't think it's a significant difference in size, but I also don't think that, I think we can be considerate of what may come after, but I also feel like we have to look at what's in front of us, and what's in front of us is this sign with an empty facade that you're working with. So in my opinion, I think, being at the 1.1% of the facade is sensible, and I appreciate that you're working with us on turning off the lights after a certain time. So I would support.
Thank you. Committee member Chang.
Yeah, I can support the project the way it is. I think if you look at the overall proportion of the signage to the building and the type of sign being proposed, even they come back with another type of business, they will most likely be kept the same sign type of this, so that they will still look professional. It's a professional building, and I think it will work. It will work either way with currently the current tenant, or in the future with some additional signage that we'll get a chance to look at again. So the proportion is right. I think if the sign go any smaller, it may work against the overall building. The it may not be readable as the way it is now. So I think at 16-inch and 12-inch, at a 5 foot 3 inch side band, that is just about right. So I can support it the way it is.
Thank you. To summarize, apparently the committee are in agreement that the current revised downsized signage is appropriate to the space it is proposed to be fitted in, as well as the entire Huntington facing facade. The concern that there could open a floodgate for other new signs left and right of the current proposed location is a concern, but I would agree with other committee members that if there is a second application for a different signage there, the overall effect of the facade will have to be looked at, meaning the potential second signage will not be reviewed on its own, meaning the current San Marino security signage would be a part of the overall appearance. So given what is in front of us, I appreciate the adjustment made, even though 10% or so, but I think it is the overall look of the signage in that particular space, as well as the entire facade. So I can support the case tonight. So may I ask if there is any motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion. I move to approve design review case number DRC 20-69 as presented by the staff report.
Anybody second?
I second that.
Let's have a vote, Mr. Cervantes.
Alternate committee member Tom,
Yes.
alternate committee member Rick Chow,
Yes.
committee member Chang,
Yes.
and committee member Wong.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now we are moving to the fourth item of tonight is design review case DRC 20-74 at 1275 St. Albans Road. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Vice Chair. For this project, the applicant is proposing to construct a first and second story addition to an existing two-story homes. The property is located across the street from the city's Lacey Park. Staff is able to find that the proposed additions allowing the homes to retain its current facades facing the street to be compatible with the legal neighborhood. There is minimal changes to the front facade of the home, and that pretty much includes the addition of a garage door, which is to enclose the existing carport, so to speak. Staff is able to staff finds that the view from the new addition or windows from the new addition only provides a view into the backyard of this property and will not have any privacy impact on adjacent neighbors, specifically the north neighbor where the new addition on the first floor is located. Staff finds that there are some windows on the proposed addition that would not be compatible with the home and has recommended conditions to address this issue. And in terms of the addition itself being compatible with the existing home, the project is providing consistent plate height and exterior material. With the recommended condition in the staff report, the staff is supporting the project. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any question from the committee to staff, please? Yes, Committee Member McKay.
Thank you. Could I just get some clarification on item number 3 on the staff report? The last sentence where it says window G on the west elevation shown sheet 9 located in the elevator shaft should be removed. I understand that part. To reduce the visibility of a pop-out feature such as this elevator shaft. I just want to make sure I understand the full concern there.
In order to accommodate the elevator shaft, this particular area, which pretty much is a square box, it protrudes out from the existing wall. So it's really a pop-out element. because the fact that this is an elevator, which potentially is to help facilitate elderly occupants to move about within the home, staff normally would not otherwise allow such a addition to take place, meaning to have a square box attached to the exterior of the wall essentially. But because this could very well be a American Disability Act issue, that staff is allowing the location of this elevator shaft at this place, but without calling additional attention to this element, if that helps to explain my
It
intent.
does. In the application, or
Thank you for quieting the background noise. And if there's a way for Mr. Cervantes or anybody to mute the rest of the attendance, that would be helpful too. Thank you.
I'm sorry, thank you for that. That does help. I just want to ask though, as a follow-up question,
Please.
in the plans or application or discussions with the applicant, was the elevator shaft referenced in the context of the ADA?
No.
Thank you.
Any other question from the committee, please?
If I may.
Yes, Committee Member Rick Chow.
Thank you, Chair. I have 3 questions. First question to staff is basically a follow-up of my email, because I was just curious when I visited the back of the property to see the building, the one that's closest, the part of the house that's closest to the swimming pool. Basically, the house is all French doors. So I guess my question to the staff again is that staff was told me that the permit was back to 1969. From that permit, did it show all those French windows, the French doors?
Based on the city's permit record, it appears that there was an addition and remodel done to the back portion of the home. I don't have record that specifically identified those particular French door were installed in 1969 or during that approval.
Okay, thank you. The reason I ask is because, sometimes we have homes that they did all these remodeling without pulling a permit. In this case, it just doesn't look right to me, but who knows? So that's why I was trying to clarify. Again, the intention is trying to kind of go back to history a little bit, trying to understand the property, how the owners have been taking care of their home, or doing how they have done their remodeling. And the second question I have is, does staff know the current setback from the house to the rear property line? I couldn't find it easily in the plan.
I will defer this question to the applicant.
Okay. I had a third question, but I lost track. I might come back to it, but that's it for now. Thank you.
Any other questions from any other committee members?
Sorry, Chair, I just remember my third question.
Please, Committee Member Rick Chow.
Okay, question for staff. The front yard, we always have these like percentage, how much can be covered, right? The building coverage. What about backyard?
The city code currently is silent on the pavement or impervious coverage in the backyard. At this time, city code only addressed the area within the front yard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the committee? Seeing none, I'll invite the applicant or the applicant's representative to present the project. Please state your name and address.
Hey, hello, this is Perry Chen from SS Design. I'm the designer for this project. My office is located at 1414 Fair Oaks Avenue, Suite 3, South Pasadena. May I share my screen and have a presentation for you guys?
Please, Mr. Chen.
Thank you. My client, Mrs. Singh, is living here for more than 20 years. Once she is getting older, she concerned the accessibility. Based on the client's request, we propose to add 1 bedroom on the ground floor. Add 1 garage parking, solve the leaking issue for the sunroom, and add an elevator to meet the target. First, add 1 bedroom on the ground floor. We propose a 339 square feet new addition on the ground floor for the new bedroom and bath. The red hatch area is proposed new addition. There are 3 trees within the footprint of the new bedroom, including 1 jacaranda and 2 peach trees. From the arborist report, the arborist found some severely topic 4 large trunk cavities and severely damaging concrete for the jacaranda tree. So the arborist suggests removing this tree per the poor conditions. Second, need to add 1 more garage. After we add 1 bedroom, there are 5 bedrooms for this project. Per code, we need to provide 3-car garage. So we enclose the existing breezeway to be the new enclosed garage. We will remain the wood shingle finish and use the same style garage door. Third, solve the leaking issue for the existing sunroom. The green area is the sunroom. The existing sunroom has the leaking issue due to the flat roof. Yeah, this photo, you can see the existing sunroom and with the flat roof. We propose a sloping roof for the sunroom area to solve the leaking problem. Also, the sloping roof will improve the architectural style. Fourth, the accessibility. The owner concerned the accessibility of the house and the outdoor concrete walkway. So firstly, we need to provide an elevator. After we did the study, we found the elevator location. And this is the best choice because the minimum disturb the existing space. Also, for the sustainable concern, the owner.
Oh, looks like we're done.
Anybody who is not in the current discussion, please mute your audio. Thank you.
Okay, so can I, yeah.
Continue, Mr. Chen, yes.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, for the sustainable concern, the owner would like to have glass elevator and want to have a window for the elevator shaft because it will bring some daylight for the second floor hallway. Secondly, we need to rebuild some damaging concrete walkway. From the photo, you may see the 2 capped chestnut tree roots. Severe damage the concrete, so the arborist suggests removing them. We work closely with Planner Eva regarding the code and the design, and we try to limit the impact from the street view, retain the existing architectural feature, and improve the space quality. We appreciate 9 neighbors support our project. Hopefully, we can get the approval tonight and we can move forward with this project. Feel free to ask me if you have any concern. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chen. Is there any question from the committee to the applicant's representative, please?
Yes, Chairman, I have a couple of questions.
Yes,
the-
Committee Member Chang, go ahead.
First of all, you're removing approximately 5 trees from the property for the addition, which I understand that. But have you done any new landscape plan to try to replant some of the trees that were lost? Have you
So far not yet. Yeah.
not yet, meaning that you will, or you don't?
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
So are you planning on replacing 1 to 1? If you take out 5 trees, are you trying to find within the landscape architect's recommendation to place back 5 trees somewhere on the property?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We can
Okay.
do that.
All right. So second question you mentioned about on the elevator, that window, that really cannot bring in any light. That's an elevator shaft, isn't it?
Yeah, because the client wants to have a glass elevator. So like a the glass wall, then she want to have some window to
You
bring the
get
light.
some light in the elevator. You're not going to get any light into the hallway because
Uh,
that door is closed all the time. You can't have an open shaft.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we can remove the window.
Yeah, it doesn't quite work. I mean, that was not a good reason for you to put a window there. It doesn't work. So,
Okay, we will remove the window. Thank you.
all right, thanks.
Any other questions from any of the committee members?
I have a question.
Committee Member McKay, please.
Thank you. Mr. Chan, I just want to follow up on the question I had for staff, and it's following up on my fellow committee members' question on the elevator shaft. Just for the record, the renovation to include this unusual element is for accessibility reasons. Is that right?
Yeah, accessibility. Yeah, because the property owner getting older, so she need to have a wheelchair, so she need one elevator. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that was confirmed for the record because it is an unusual element and it came even more to our attention because of the proposed window, which I understand you're amenable to withdrawing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I have a question.
Committee Member Lakon.
Thank you. Something I noted on the plans, on the second floor in bathroom for bedroom number 4, could you show me where, I'm not finding an entrance to the bathroom.
Here.
Is there a door there?
The sliding door.
A sliding door, okay.
Yeah, sliding door.
Behind that little table, okay.
Yes. But yeah, maybe there's too much line. Yeah.
But there's a door there, oh.
Door, yes.
Okay. Okay, and then I had another question regarding the garage addition, which I understand. Currently, the garbage cans are being held in that space. So I don't, right now the trash is all along that line inside next to the car. So my concern is I wanted the applicant to understand that the new positioning for the garbage cans can't be left out in the front. So I was hoping that there would be a plan.
Yeah, we'll put in the side yard. Yeah.
The side? Which side?
No. Yeah, I think after we enclose this space and the trash can will be put on the side yard. So it's somewhere in here. We will put in here in the future.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the plan. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes,
Committee
do
member Rick
have
Chow?
a few questions. Thank you. I find that the plan has so many holes in there. It just it causes a great concern. So far, I have to say I'm not impressed by the presentation. It just seemed like, you know, fine by the seat of pants kind of style. So getting to my questions, just to name a few, I'll point out some of the places I noticed. The architect just said in your presentation that you are adding 1 bedroom, but in your plan it says existing 5-bedroom,
Yeah.
and you're still going to be 5 bedrooms, so you're not adding one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. The reason is on the ground floor we add 1 bedroom, and for the second floor, let me find the plan. On the second floor, we combined 2 existing bedroom. So for this side, we combined the 2 bedroom to be 1 bedroom and 1 bath.
So how many bedrooms, existing bedrooms are there right now?
5.
Okay, so you're not adding 1 bedroom. So, okay, so currently you already have 5 bedrooms, but you
Yeah.
have a 2-car garage.
And yeah, for this question, I asked Eva. Eva told me if we have 5 bedroom, actually we need to have 3-car garage. Yeah, so for now we don't have the conforming garage. So Eva requests to add 1 more enclosed garage for
So
5 bedroom.
No, how did you get to 5 bedroom without adding a 3rd garage? A garage for 3rd car?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
So supposedly you should have 3-car garage already, but because you have 5 bedrooms, right?
Yeah.
But you don't. So how did that happen?
I don't know why the existing building only have 2-car garage with carport.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, moving to my next question. What is if you look at your plan, the first page, number 1, go to the backyard rear setback. It says existing front setback. What does that mean?
Sorry, yeah, this is a topo. This should be existing rear setback. Sorry, yeah, rear setback.
Okay, and what is that's the existing rear setback?
No, this is should be the proposed rear setback. The existing should be
Okay.
bigger. Yeah, sorry, the topo.
So what is the existing rear setback?
I'm sorry, I forgot to submit the survey. I think it's under 50 feet should be.
Okay, well, you don't know.
I can submit the survey later. Yeah,
All right, so
sorry.
you don't know at this point exactly. That's fair to say, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And in the backyard, there are these storage sheds, okay?
Yeah.
That has roof and all that is pretty established. So what are you going to do with those 2?
For this point, we talked to the talk with the client. Yeah, the owner said she will remove that. Yeah, so in the proposed site plan, we don't show that anymore because she will remove that.
Okay. So far you don't really have a landscaping plan around the house. Well, mostly for the backyard, because that's where the majority work is going to be. What about the chain link fence in the back? Do you have any plan to do anything or add any more hedges there?
So far, we don't have that plan.
Okay.
Yeah.
In your drawing, actually in your rendering for the front of the house, the gate, the way the gate looks, it's really not the way the gate looks right now.
We will keep the existing gate. Yeah, we don't touch that.
Right, but you need to reflect accurately in your rendering.
Oh, okay.
Just take a look of your rendering. It's not, does not look. You see how that is? There's not even a gate. It's just like two curved fences coming out.
Oh, because I make it open the gate. Yeah.
Okay,
Open the gate like that.
it's confusing as far as I'm concerned. And if you wanted to make it look like a gate that's opened, it should be very clear to tell.
Okay.
So the building in the back right now with I counted probably close to 20 French doors in just one part of the building. Do you know
mean the
when
existing
was that
sunroom?
constructed?
Huh?
Yes, that building on all sides, they're about 20 French doors,
Wow.
just around that neighborhood. And also it's built on kind of a raised foundation, unlike the rest of the house. So
But this
that's, yeah. Do you know when was that built?
I don't know. When I get this project, yeah, they
Okay.
already did. I don't know that.
Okay. All right. I think I'll just pick one more questions. So it's not too overwhelming. The trash area, committee member Lakon already pointed out. The okay, tree number 18 proposed to be removed. Saying causing some concrete damage. When I was there, I did not see any concrete damage. I just want to point it out for that particular tree. With that, I'll just I'll close my my questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions from anybody from the committee? If not, I have a few. Mr. Chen, in the submittal, I read some language saying the addition will be using roof material that matches the current properties, which is DECRA stone-coated steel material.
Yeah.
Where do you get the information that the current residence is using DECRA steel?
Actually, we just try to find a similar product to match the existing. Actually, I don't know the existing roofing history. Yeah. We try to find a similar one to match that.
So do you know if the existing resident is actually a stone-coated steel material?
Yeah, right.
It is, you're saying?
Yeah, it is.
It should be a permit.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
And have you had any information when this is put in? Because this is basically the material for the entire residence.
I'm sorry,
Correct?
I don't know. I don't know the previous history. When I get this project, yeah, it's like that.
If you are confident that you can find the same material then I think there is a lesser problem. If it is a different material than what is being used in the current residence, then it would be a different issue. So have you tried look for the same material already? Or you're
Yeah.
hoping you'll find it?
Hoping find it.
Okay. Number
But I
two
think
question.
for this question, I will talk to the property owner. Yeah, I think maybe she has the record for the
Okay.
product. Yeah.
Right, thank you. My second question is about the roof pattern. Okay, first one is the elevator shaft. Now that you agree with me, with committee member Chang, that the window is actually not doing much except from lighting up the elevator shaft itself. Is there any reason why the shaft's roofing has a different slope than the second floor? Is it trying to make it different, or why?
Because the elevator need to have a machine room. Yeah. For
the
the
machine room? Okay.
Yeah, for the elevator. I think she need to have
You
some
put the
space
machine in
for
the top?
I think
Have you looked at the mechanics of the elevator? Who told you that?
I asked the rep for the elevator company. He just told me we need to some space on the top for the elevator install.
Can that be done without making a different pitch for that shaft?
If we follow this roof pitch, the header will very low. I think it's about 6 feet something. The header.
For the elevator shaft.
Yeah, it's too low. So I need to has a little bit higher. Now I think it's about 8 feet or about 8 feet header for the elevator shaft.
Okay, it just look a little odd because this is the only place that is kind of.
We try to find another place for the elevator, but this is the only place I can find, because for this one we can keep the most of the existing bedroom or area to be.
Understand that. Less disturbance to the residents, which is fine. Have you looked at other elevators and see if that?
I think the problem is the header. If the header under 8 feet or 7 feet, I think this elevator is hard to use that.
Okay, I'm not an expert, so I'm just asking the question, but I was hoping that the roof line would be a little bit more simplified. But let's turn to another section of the house. Look at the roof line of the proposed enclosed carport, which is the third garage. I want to ask, why is the pitch there, different from the existing 2-car garage pitch? The front is the same. And I look at the back today on site, and the roof line at the back is also the same, but from your submittal drawing, the back is pitched differently. So you seem to have a ponytail out that is visible from the street.
Yeah, the reason is the header, the existing garage header.
Yes, this is the section exactly.
Yeah, for this part. Yeah, the play height is only 5 feet something.
But you can fit 2 cars, right? You can fit the cars, right?
For the existing, we can fit the car.
Right. So why can you not do the same for the third car?
Yeah, because we need to put the trash can on the side yard. We need to open the door in here to go out. Yeah, so we need to raise up this part to more than 6 feet 8.
You do have a access side door, like 20 feet down,
We
right?
don't have the side door for the side yard.
Can you move to your west? Isn't there a door?
This,
And
this is the
no,
new addition.
not this side, not this side. The I believe it is a south-facing facade.
South. Yeah.
Isn't there a door in the middle?
Yes,
What door?
Move to your left, right in the middle.
the laundry room.
Is
Yeah,
there
this is
where
the
you can
laundry.
kind of come out? I mean, you have rubbish from the house, right? So from the house, you bring the
Here. This is
garbage
the
out, right?
existing breezeway. Existing breezeway on this hole. And
I'm
we
just trying to say that there are different ways of getting to the side alley than cutting open a garage if the header is not enough, or by creating a different roof line. Just an opinion. Okay, thank you. Any other question from anyone from the committee for the applicant's architect, please?
Just one more thing I'd like to point
Please,
out.
Committee Member Rick Chow.
Thank you. Point out to the architect, hopefully you're taking good notes tonight. You know, I'll just give you another example of the inconsistency in your plan. If you look at on page number 7, well, page number 7.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at the proposed, existing and proposed roof pattern, they don't even match.
Oh, yeah.
And you're not even changing your roof.
Yeah, we don't change the roof. Yeah.
You know, if you look, if I didn't know you're not changing the roof, I thought that the existing is maybe wood shingle, and then you're changing to proposed some sort of tile, because that's what you
Yeah.
drew.
I will update that. Yeah.
Again, just
We
please,
don't change the roofing.
please
Okay.
pay attention to details. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Yes, Committee Member Lakon.
Sorry.
Committee Member Lakon, thank you.
Okay, have you considered looking at the permit for the roof that's currently on, which would state the manufacturer and the color, I believe?
Yeah, I think we can try to find some sample, the roofing sample, and show to the, and we can get some roofing sample. Okay? What?
Well, my thought is that this roofing material is not on the pre-approved list, and it's possibly not a product that the committee would approve. So I think that we wouldn't be allowing this roof necessarily. We'd have to be considering it as a choice. So if you're going to be matching it, it needs to be exactly
Yeah.
a match.
Okay. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Any other question from the committee?
I just want to make one more comment, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Chan, I guess you probably have not put in a residential elevator before. The machine room does not go on the top on a residential type elevators. They usually go on the side or a close by area till you put the machine room there. And you probably have not talked to the elevator, residential type elevator company to try to work that out. You have not done your job as a designer to check out the existing roof system and make sure that works. You have also not worked out the landscape plan for the garbage pickup in City of San Marino. When they come pick up the trash, they do not go inside your garage and go out another door to pick up the trash can. It doesn't work that way. You need to understand how the trash operation work. So you got quite a bit of work to do. And I get it, maybe you're not licensed at this time, but you should spend the time and effort to get all the necessary information, including go to City Hall and pull the existing building permit of that particular home and try to gather all the information you can get under public record so that you can answer some of these questions. You need to rework the floor plan so that the elevator works. And you need to work on the landscape plan. When you lose 5 trees and you're going to replace 5 trees, you really need to work that out. The trash may have to come in the front driveway and go around and pick up the trash on the side yard. So you need to work all those out, not to change the garage roof line to accommodate the door, and they don't take those doors, they don't take the garbage through those doors through the garage anyway. So I just hope that you start taking notes on all the questions. When you come back, all these questions need to be answered. That's
Thank
all.
you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the committee? Questions? Not at this point. So I'll close the Q&A session with the applicant's designer and open the public comment session. Anybody from the public is welcome to share the comments and opinions. Is there anybody from the public want to say anything? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment session, and then I'll begin the committee discussion session. Committee member Lakon, please.
Okay, thank you. Well, we went over several comments and had recommendations with the designer already, and I will not be able to support approval tonight. I could support a continuance. I could possibly support a denial, but a continuance for sure. Besides the roofing material and the elevator information, that the trash situation will be worked out without that door that was being proposed with the altered roof line. Something else I noticed that there wasn't an exterior lighting plan, and if there are doors as part of the plan, then there will have to be lighting probably per code. So I would like to see exterior lighting plan. And regarding a fairly significant concern of this property specifically is the condition of the heritage trees that are in the rear of the property and on the south side of the property. They're in very poor shape, and I don't see any attempts to bringing the health of the tree up. Those, along with the proposed removal of a heritage tree, is fairly concerning for a home that is in this area so close to the park on such a large lot. When you have a property like this, I think it'd be more compatible to have the heritage trees and have them in better health. So I think when there is a landscape plan that when the applicant returns, that they will take into consideration the heritage trees and the health, and a plan to restore it to a sense of compatibility, I would say, for that area. And I think that's covering it for now. So thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Chang.
Yes, thank you. I guess I can support a continuance. I think overall we can support the addition for the property owner, but the designer has work to do. I definitely want to see a complete landscape plan prepared by a landscape architect that to address those 5 trees that are being removed, and how are they going to propose to put something back and work with the existing landscaping and or the new site plan improvement. That's one. A correct survey plan need to be submitted on something of this much addition and that much intricate site plan development. So at least all the storage shed, removal, hardscape, softscape, circulation can be addressed correctly according to the survey map. The designer need to again work out all the roof line with the elevator, because that elevator shaft can be worked in with a few different ways, but not the way that he has handled it. I also suggest earlier that he needs to go pull the existing public record from building and safety and get all the information that's needed. And if he cannot, I don't think he can match the existing roof. Seeing some of the detail of the roof, then they may have to reconsider replacing the entire roof in a correct roofing material, since you're going to be doing so much more on the back anyway. So I guess that's what I want the applicant to take note and come back with the correct information. That's what I have.
Thank you. Committee member Tony Chow.
I kind of agree with my committee members. I think a lot of it should have been pre-work before it was presented. But since we're here, and I think the applicant's lucky to have the committee and city staff give so much input, but in reality, a lot of this should be thought through in the best interest of your time and our time. So I think with that, please make sure you take comments of what was mentioned today. It's pretty important, and I think it's be thankful that the committee is looking, or is somewhat looking at extending and reviewing this case again, and don't take that for granted. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee member McKay.
Thank you. I could support a denial tonight. I could support a continuance at most if my fellow committee members have a consensus on that. Otherwise, I could support a denial. I am very concerned about what committee member Rick Chow raised, that the rendering, the documents presented to the committee, to the city, to the staff, doesn't mirror the existing structure. And the result seems to be misrepresenting to the committee. There are many unanswered questions tonight. The questions are asked, we're posing the questions, but the answers are unknown. What's the history of the structure? Unknown. What are the answers to our questions on landscaping? Unknown, and not only unknown, but intentions aren't even, there's no confidence in what the intentions are on that landscaping. There's no attention to detail here. There's a failure to research. The elevator is a very tricky feature. It's not a feature that I think should be entered into lightly. It's a relatively unusual feature. Other residences in the city have them, but to be unsure about it and to not be confident about it and to not be able to answer on findings and conclusions makes this more than just you're wasting the committee's time or the city staff's time, but I'm concerned about safety. I am very concerned about safety of this design at this point. And I feel that there is a lack of seriousness in the tone of the application and the presentation tonight, which also makes me very concerned on safety. So I haven't noticed that there's been any particular attention to a lot of the comments that were made tonight. I may be wrong on that, but I will be surprised if everything has been reduced to writing and memorialized. So for those reasons, and the lack of concern for DRC guidelines and the lack of, there's not a sober enough tone in not being able to answer the committee's questions, I would support a denial and only a continuance if there's a consensus view of my fellow committee members. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Tony Chow. I mean, Rick Chow, my apology.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I think I definitely can support a denial for many of the reasons that was just mentioned now. Again, I want to raise my concern. I think this is a scary project. I really want to raise my concern. I mean, especially upon visiting the job site, seeing what has been done already, it's really not very good. It's many afterthought went into what's going on, what what the house looks like now. Let's add a storage shed in the on the north side. Well, while we at it, let's add another one on the east side, on the south side. I'm sorry. Let's just chop down the trees. If you look at the trees there, all the proposed trees that's getting taken out, and plus others, all the limbs, a lot of limbs, they're so-called trim, but chopped 90 degrees. Just 90 degrees, that's it. I mean, how can the trees stay healthy that way? And not just one, many of them. It's very sad to see. And there are different textures in the concrete covering around the house. Some look pebble-like, some has this greenish slate-like leading to the side of the house. And then in between, there is this built-in kind of shelves, wooden shelves. It just goes on and on. 15, 20 French doors. I'm raising all these concerns just because that seems to be, to me, alarming. If we don't pay extra attention to what's going on. I mean, even just standard attention. Okay, so in the presentation, the lack of preparedness, even just bare minimum, it's just not there. Look at the backyard. It's already all covered with concrete. And then they're proposing, the applicant's proposing more concrete pad. So we really need to kind of, I think the applicant really needs to understand that to create a balance, to keep your property the way it should be, based on the San Marino standard, based on design guidelines. So I think a lot of other things have been mentioned. So again, I don't think, as far as I'm concerned, I think I can only support a denial tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Apparently, the committee feels that the application and the presentation have a fair amount of holes in it and many unanswered questions. What is a matter of fact is that the addition is proposed mostly at the back of the house, and what is visible from the street is really minimal, except the ponytail at the proposed third-car garage roof line, which has been discussed in length. But having said that, as the committee has always been doing, is to make sure the proposal is consistent with both the property and to the neighborhood. And this property is located right across the rose garden of the Lacy Park. And as one of the committee members said, if the backyard is all concrete out, then it just doesn't feel San Marino, even though it is not visible. So I would suggest the property owner and the team really take a sincere and serious look as to what they really want to achieve in the city of San Marino. And if they really want to keep it as San Marino, then really go towards that direction and do not try to do a hybrid, and that probably is more appropriate in other cities than ours. But the key fact is that the proposal is at the back. And I personally think the project deserves a second chance to present itself at its best. And my guess is that the architect may not have worked much in the city of San Marino, and maybe even a little bit under experience. So is giving the review process quite a bit of a challenge. So I recommend the applicant and the team to go back to the recording as needed to really understand the concern of the committee, and also work with staff, and also study seriously the design review guidelines and check out some neighborhoods and properties so that they know what is expected and what is a civic duty as well. It is not difficult, but if somebody's not doing the research and the homework, then it will be awfully impossible. So I personally can support a continue, hoping that the next time is a major improvement. May I ask if there's any proposal?
Mr. Chairman, let me give it a shot then.
Yeah, Committee Member Chang.
Yeah, I'll move to continue design review case number DRC 20-74 to a date uncertain, because I don't think they ready to come back within the next meeting. If I may ask the staff, or actually maybe we can ask the applicant, when do they think they can come back with all the concerns addressed? Mr. Chan, are you there? Can you answer, or do you need to talk to your client? When do you think you can come back to the committee with the updated information and a correct set of?
Maybe can you give us 1 month?
You're gonna need that 1 month. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that would be 2 meetings from now. If I may ask staff, what is 2 meetings from now? When would that be? Do we have a date on that?
Would that trigger the waiver?
So the next 2 meetings from now will be May 19th, and that is still within the required action date for this project. However, if the project is to come before the committee on that day, the applicants and the designer will have to submit plans to staff no later than May 7th.
May 7th. Okay.
Would that work?
And this is bear in mind that the committee is requesting for a preparation of a landscape plans to be prepared by a licensed architect.
Licensed landscape architect.
Correct. I'm sorry.
So
give me a second. Yeah, I think May 7th. Yeah, it's low. So can you?
If you need more time, I would much rather you take your time and do it right before you come back. Because the next time, if it come in similar to this, you're gonna get a denial. I can almost assure you that. So you tell us whether you want more time, and then you just have to waive your the date on the action date, and you can take more time to do it.
Yeah, I need more time, I think. Yeah.
Okay. So why don't we make it 2 months from now then, assuming that they will take the day, so we'll come back. What about the month of June, Eva, what day would that be? Because I want to continue to a day certain.
Given the number of requested items from the committees, and it seems that there will need to be some design changes.
Yes.
Involving the roof line. Staff is suggesting that we should continue to a future date uncertain. We are going to do renoticing to all of the neighbors anyhow, but I will have to get the applicants and the designer to agree to waiving the this Permit Streamlining Act tonight for the record. And I will obtain the written release from the designer tomorrow, so we can have the written record on file.
That's fine.
Committee Member Chang, may I just insert just in the notice, this is Design Review Committee Case 2074, but it's Design Review Case 2072 on the actual report. So I would just like to clarify it for the record, please.
Staff, can you clarify, please?
On my agenda, it says 20-74.
Correct, and on the report, it's 2072.
I'll let staff to clarify that. Is there a typo? Thank you for bringing that up, Committee Member McKay.
Thank you.
For the record, this project is case number 20-74. So it is a typo on the staff report, not the notice, not the agenda. And I apologize for that.
Thank you, Ms. Choi, for confirming. Great.
My
So
motion is to continue DRC 20-74 to a date uncertain when the applicant is ready to come back and work with staff. On the-
anybody second? I'll second it. Let's have the vote, Mr. Cervantes.
Committee Member Tony Chow,
Yes.
Committee Member McKay,
Yes.
Committee Member Lakon,
Yes.
Committee Member Chang,
Yes.
and Vice Chair Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We are now moving to our fifth item of the agenda tonight, which is design review case number DRC 21-10 at 30 Kewen Place. May we have the staff report? Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Vice Chair. This project is requesting to provide front yard walls, fencing, a driveway gate, a pedestrian gate, and pilaster with lighting within the front yard, and therefore the project is before the design review committee tonight. Staff is able to find that the concept of providing front yard fencing and wall on this property within the cul-de-sac to be a compatible idea and concept with adjacent property, especially the two that were pointed out by the applicant within the submittal material. However, the design of the driveway gate and the pedestrian gate, staff is not able to support those particular design, finding it to be somewhat imposing and to be lacking in the simplistic elements found on adjacent gates and fencing within the front yard. For that reason, staff is recommending the committee to continue the project. And this concludes the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Choi, for the staff report. Committee member, any question for staff, please?
I'm going to need to recuse myself.
Okay, thank you.
I do
Any
have a
question from the
question.
committee?
I do have a question for staff.
Committee member Rick Chow, please.
Thank you. Is there property line noted on any of the pages? Is there a survey showing the property line?
The property line is shown on sheet L-1.0, and it is the line with PL labeled. It is a broken dash line. It's two short dash and one long dash combination.
Okay, yeah, I think I see it. So two short, one long.
Correct.
Okay, I think I see it. So the proposed, everything that's proposed is within the property line. Is that correct?
Is
I'm talking about the gate, the pilaster, the fence, everything.
correct. The proposed elements are about 5 feet away from the property line.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the committee to staff at this point? Seeing none, I'll ask the applicant or the applicant's representative to present the project. Please state your name and address, please.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Fields. I'm the senior landscape architect with Environmental Landscape Development. We're a design build firm. The proposal that we have in front of you tonight is for a new short wall and fence along the front property that is 4 to 5 feet behind the sidewalk, which the property line is right behind the sidewalk from the survey that we had done. The pedestrian gate is to help ensure a more formal entrance to this Tudor mansion that we have here. The pilasters will be the same brick that is on the house so that it's very compatible architecturally. The pedestrian gate is of a metal design. The elements that are included in it are taken off of the more delicate design cues that are on the windows, as well as included in most of the fences that are within this cul-de-sac. So the design itself is very mindful of not only the architecture itself and compatible with the time period that the house is modeled after, but it also is reminiscent of a lot of the other fences that are on the property on that cul-de-sac as well. The driveway gate, being a more heavy design with the wood elements, also takes cues. It's a Tudor design and takes its cues from the wood timbers that are on the house itself. And so there's, for the Tudor design, there's in the windows and more transparent aspects, it has a very fine element to it, metal element to it. And then the fascia of the house has the bold, strong wood elements. So that's what we're doing here with the pedestrian, where it's a lighter feel, and the vehicular, which is more grounded and solid. We've set everything back so that we can get planting of roses and a light ground cover, so that, and then behind the fence will be a solid hedge. So just like across the street, where the hedge will be more of the scene element and the fence will kind of dissolve into it. So it's going to be very, very green, very well planted. And so that the heavier pedestrian, or the pilasters at the pedestrian gate will signal where the entrance actually is in amongst all this planting. And then same thing with the vehicular gate, we're having all that planting in front and behind, so that those walls and gates, while giving a measure of security to the property, will also kind of disappear and dissolve into the planting that we'll have for this. And that's, I think, about it.
Thank you. Is there any other comment from the property owner? If not, then I would ask if the committee has any questions for the owner or the owner's applicant. Let me start. I have two for Ms. Fields. First, can you share with us the kind of vegetation or the cultivar thereof of the hedge that you are considering putting in behind the fence? And second, can you elaborate on the fairly elaborate trellis design?
So the hedge behind is actually planted right now. It's a cherry hedge, which is what we have around the entire perimeter that we had already gained approval for our planting design. And so it will knit together and be relatively solid, but we'll keep it at the 42-inch height. So it's not going to obscure the house because the house is very beautiful. We don't want to make this a compound that's hidden. We want to just set it up and let that hedge be the base for which the house sits upon.
So if I may clarify, you mentioned the cherry hedge is already in place right now.
It is.
How long would it take for them to get to the targeted height? 2 years?
It by the end of this year, the hedge would be about the height it needs to be. So we're not going to let it grow too much taller than it is right now, but we're going to keep it pruned so that it can fill out and knit together.
Great. And the pilasters have not been in yet?
No. No.
Right. So do you envision any root damage when you guys do the foundations and all those concrete works in front of the hedges? I am assuming the distance is quite close, right, between the hedge and the fence.
There is, we wanted to get the hedge in and started. The wall will be close to those root balls. It's because there's still a new planting, it would be easy to move it out of the way and then put it back in kind of directly. We don't anticipate any root damage to the hedge.
So you're saying your team plans to remove the root balls, put in a foundation, let it sit, and then replant the hedges? Is that the plan?
The wall, the top of the wall portion of the wall and fence combination, the top of the wall is about where the root ball is. So the footing will be below, and because the hedge is, it's 15-gallon material, the root balls, we don't expect by the time we get to doing this wall, which we hope is very soon, the roots won't have time to mature to the point that there would be damage.
Thank you. Then can you share a little bit on the trellis?
And the trellis. The trellis is meant to be an armature for rose, a rose vine. And so it's not meant to be so much an architectural element on its own, but more that armature so that we can do a rose arbor for it, so that when you enter in, you're coming through planting. So it's really all about the roses and the planting. The whole front yard is meant to have that more formality to set up for the architecture.
Thank you. That's for me. Any questions from anybody else? Yes, Committee Member Lacon.
Hi, thank you. There is one oak tree to the right of the driveway.
Yes.
In the city, in the parkway.
Yes.
Okay, so will that be damaged in any, or be at risk of being damaged in any way when you're putting in the new wall?
No, we will be doing a bond beam so that we are outside of the drip line and be able to kind of skirt on top of, but not trench through.
No trenching, okay. And there are, most of the cul-de-sac is has oak trees planted in the parkways, but I noticed that this house and the house to the left, maybe that's the north side, have clear parkways for the most part. Is there any reason for that, or part of the plan to plant oak trees like the rest of the street? I was questioning why the parkway is so barren or
Parkway,
void of trees.
The understanding is that the whole parcel of this parkway historically was one that was from one owner that was divided over time. And that one oak is the only one that in the division was meant to remain.
Okay.
Great. Any other questions for the applicant or the applicant's representative? Yes, Committee Member Chang.
Yeah. I guess this one comes on the pedestrian entry gate, that trellis that you have. I think when you mentioned that it was meant to be having like a rose trellis, which could be very attractive. Is there a reason why you want something on the pilaster to be so heavy at the bottom? Is that, have you looked into that? Would that be a little bit of an overkill on the pilaster?
One of the mandates that we are trying to accommodate is a package, a mail and package vault, so that deliveries can be made and not left out and open for porch pirates to come and take. So we're finding that more and more, especially with the pandemic, where people are and our clients are ordering online and having many more packages delivered, they don't want to have things left at their front door. And this front door being raised up and without any screening to it and no ability to hide packages at the front door, we're trying to accommodate that ability to have packages put into a container without it looking like, here's a big package container. So the vault size, and these are USPS approved vaults, and it opens just like a mailbox. Packages can be put in, and the back of the pilaster is actually exposed, and the door, there's a lockable door there that our client then can come and retrieve the packages from.
I see. Okay.
That's why the size.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions from the committee?
One more.
Yes, Committee Member Lee Kon, please.
Thank you. So you're saying that, like when I see the drawing, this is the package and then the mail above. Are those, they're different slots, and are they the same size?
They are different slots.
Right.
The top mail one is a 3-inch, where it's just a quick pull down and in, and the bottom one it's a 6-inch, just like the mail boxes themselves, the USPS boxes, where you can open it, you put the thing in, you close it, and then it drops in. So you can't actually put your hand into it.
And so does it, you're saying it drops the package into a vault in the back?
Into it, yeah. Into it.
Just in the pilaster.
Yeah.
So the pilaster is containing the vault.
Yes.
The vault is not on the back. So it's not going to hold like your big box from Amazon or Zappos. It's not going to, they're still going to have to put those over.
Yeah, a big box. Like a
the
2 by,
sitting all
I'm
over
looking
there.
at one right here. It's 2 by 3 you wouldn't get one of those in, but your typical stuff that comes in like the soft packs or the USPS letter, it's like the letter size, but it's only like 3-inch, maybe 4-inch. Those can fit in, but not a 2-foot by 3-foot box.
Okay, so not the big boxes. You haven't,
Yeah.
there's no place to hide the big boxes that are,
No,
they're still
those-
gonna go over.
Yeah, so those we're actually requesting the client have delivered to his office.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other question? Then let me have the last one for Ms. Fields again. I mean, you enlighten us with the design of the trellis being a rose amber, and that indeed would be very different from a hard structure. So can you share with us how would those roses be irrigated and taken care of? Because the least thing we want is in a beautiful area of San Marino that it is difficult to upkeep roses with, you know, funguses and disease and mildews and whatnot.
The newest offerings for roses on the market now are very disease resistant. We do plan and are helping the client to plan a very mindful and rigorous maintenance program. The irrigation is all drip and subsurface, so there's no spray that will be sprayed on the leaves, which helps tremendously with fungus and reduces that because there's no water dropping on it. So it's a disease-resistant strain, subsurface and drip irrigation, and a good maintenance program.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, I'll close the Q&A session with the applicant and then move to public comment session. Anybody from the public will want to share any opinions at this point? Seeing none, I'll close the public comment session and then move to committee member discussion. Committee member Lee Kon.
Thank you. That was a nice presentation, and I had a lot of initial concerns over the kind of the heaviness of the project overall and the trellis. I agreed with the staff report that I found that to be a little imposing also. I was also concerned about the different textures with the stucco wall and then the bricks and the pilaster. When you described the plantings in the front, all the roses in the front and the hedge behind, that made sense. And that will definitely soften the wall. The trellis, I'm still not convinced of the trellis, but the idea of trailing roses hanging sounds lovely, and that would be very nice if, in fact, that's how the project, the outcome turned out. The one concern are the finials at the top, the points at the top of the gate. And I know that we don't allow those that are like spiked at the top. And this, although it's lovely, it does resemble spikes somewhat. And I just think that that look is not compatible in the city. So I don't know if there was a way that if the other committee members thought that this would be something that could be minimized before it would be considered. The gate also looks a little heavy, and I am thinking that possibly those horizontal lines in the top half of the gate. If perhaps they were reduced, that would be reduce the weight and of the gate and be a little more compatible with the house. Overall, I know our guidelines, we do not encourage fronts covered with walls and hedges. And I do know there is the property across the street that does have a wall and gates. And that property, the pilasters are very simple, and the wrought iron is simple, and the greenery is well kept and very clean. So that looks very subtle, and the house is set back and a little bit lower. So my only concern is that this is going to be could be a lot of wall and not present the same as across the way. So I'm a little torn. I'd like to hear how the other committee members think, because initially I was thinking we needed to continue this. But then the presentation kind of floored me with all the plantings. So as of now, I could either support the project or continue it. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee Member Chang.
Yeah, thank you. Committee Member Laycock brought up some good points about those white wrought iron gate. I just felt that we can lighten up the metal portion of the gate. Even though you want to do the pilaster, but I think the gate can use something a lot lighter than, because it looks awfully heavy. It looks like bottom heavy and then top light. I understand that once those rows are hanging on the arbor, it could look very beautiful, but we just, at the human level, which is the first 5-6 foot, it looks very imposing. So I think the landscape architect can do something to lighten that up. If this is not in the estate area, then we'll probably figure that it will not be the San Marino field. But being up in the estate area, and the estate is beautiful, and I can support the idea of having this pilaster and vehicular gate, but the design of it need to tone down. I would much rather see more planting than see more iron. So that's I can support a continuance to have the landscape architect to further refine the detail on the wrought iron fencing and the arbor gate. I think we can look at that at that point in time. I can support and continuance on it. But I think the idea, I can live with the idea.
Thank you. Committee Member McKay.
Thank you. I can support a continuance tonight. I appreciate the thoughtful presentation and the responses to the committee's questions. It is a beautiful and striking property, and in the presentation, I hear a lot of respect and appreciation for the property. If the design was presented in a vacuum, I could be receptive and open to it, but it's not a standalone property on Kewen. There are other houses on the cul-de-sac, and this is just not, as staff report clearly points out, it's not compatible with the legal neighborhood, because it's just too imposing and overbearing. The gates and and the design, it's beautiful, but it's not compatible with the legal neighborhood. So then it's in violation of the design review guidelines. So I could support a continuance to consider ways to make it maybe perhaps a lot more subtle. I think the committee didn't understand before tonight that the trellis was going to be feature that would be, with roses in mind. And that's lovely, but I don't know if that is compatible in the front of the property. I could support a continuance to be more cognizant of staying consistent with the adjacent properties on the cul-de-sac. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee member Rick Chow.
Thank you. I definitely echo a lot of the comments have been said so far. I think the Ms. Fields had a very thorough presentation. I think we all very much appreciate it, and I think I can definitely visualize if all things goes well, that everything will be very beautiful. Having said that, still, I think I would like to see it toned down more to be to look more like the neighborhood. I think there is a lot of reference made to the property across the street, which really has a very kind of subdued elegance to it. So I think that again, it's a very well thought out project, but I can support a continuance, and hopefully there's a way to just kind of tone it down to see more landscaping, less iron, less pilaster. Thank you.
Thank you. It appears to me that the committee share the opinion that while the presentation is really thoroughly and professionally done, and that does skew our understanding of what is presented to us on paper, the functional part of what's being proposed seems to be a little bit overarching and diminishing the aesthetic of a fairly understated cul-de-sac area of San Marino. And as we all know, even in the estate area, we are not too elaborate. So while I really like how much the team has the foresight of putting plans on the ground to acclimate the area, the drip system and whatnot, you really persuade me that the execution would be top notch. And we definitely look forward to that. But if there's a way for the team to consider how to soften it so that it is not as overwhelming and make it so inconsistent with the immediate neighborhood, that will be a big plus. And that would help the property blend into the wonderful cul-de-sac area a lot better than being, may I use the language, a crown jewel of the neighborhood, which is nice. And I'm sure the beautiful Tudor house itself is a crown jewel. So if there's a way to strike a balance, which is a subtle balance, I'm sure they will be very much welcomed by the committee as well as the neighborhood and the community as well. So I can also support a continuance and hoping that the next time would be an A-OK. So may I have a motion, please?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to continue DRC 21-10.
Anybody second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Sorry.
Committee member Lee-Con second. Thank you. Let's have the vote, please.
Alternate committee member Tony Chow.
No, it's Rick Chow. Tony's excusing himself.
Oh, excuse me. Sorry, I missed it. Alternate committee member Rick Chow.
Yes.
Committee member McKay.
Yes.
Committee member Lee-Con.
Yes.
Committee member Chang.
Yes.
And Vice Chair Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we are moving to our final item for tonight is design review case number DRC 19-98 at 2410 Cumberland Road. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Chair. Staff is requesting that the committee receive the staff's memorandum and file the memorandum and continue the project to a future date. The project is not ready for the committee's consideration. The property is identified as a potential historic landmark as being part of a historic district within the city. So for that reason, staff has requested the applicant to submit a detailed, fully vetted historic assessment report so we can get the complete history on its validity and evaluate the potential impact resulting from the project. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Choi. At this point, any question from the committee to staff? If not, then we'll need a motion to continue, our motion to continue DRC case 19-98. Anybody second?
I second the motion.
Thank you. Vote, please. Mr. Cervantes.
Alternate committee member Rick Chow,
Yes.
committee member McKay,
Yes.
committee member Lakon,
Yes.
committee member Chang,
Yes.
and vice chair Wong.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, everybody. It concludes our agenda for the night. And for public written distribution, would be any public hearing distributed by the city of San Marino to at least a majority of the DRC regarding any item or agenda we make available in the public encounter at the city hall. And then now I want to see if there is any open forum item that anybody bring forward, item for consultation, discussion with DRC members. All right, there's no open forum. And at this point, then I believe tonight's meeting is being completed, and hence I'll adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night. Have a happy Earth Day tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Good night.
Good
Bye,
night.
everyone.
Good night.
Good night.